I mean, the argument was overpaid. They weren't wanting to be paid right then. They were more than willing to come in and provide that service until the issue was straightened out, because the spiritual well-being of these men and women was more important than the pay at that time, correct?
Yes, exactly right. This has nothing to do with them having to be paid up front. This has to do everything with them, being able to fulfill their duties and them being brokenhearted because they couldn't do that. And really what it is for, we talk about our military and we talk about, keeping our military top-notch, which was a caller earlier tonight. It's one of the ways to do that. I know from my perspective, and I have friends who are not only in every branch. I have you spoke of having folks in your office. I have an Army Ranger who does a lot of my veterans and armed services work. I have others. This is kind of thing of saying we support you in every way. And when you're standing up for the Constitution, then we want to support your rights under the Constitution. And that's something that undoubtedly Congressman Inyard has no desire to do.
Right. Well, we're going back to the lines. Remember, press 0 if you want to ask a question. And we have Lori from DuQuoin. Lori, are you on?
Hi. First of all, I just wanted to say that I also am very glad that you're running. But my question is we're from we're middle class from Southern Illinois, and I feel so defeated. I don't even watch the news anymore because it's going to affect me in a negative way. So my question is, what do you plan to do for the middle class to get this weight off of us?
Well, let me tell you that some of the proposals, and I know that this might not be a popular statement, but this is the way I feel. You cannot lift up the middle class by continuing to have overburdensome regulations on the job creators. That's one. Two, as they try to push forward with a minimum wage, that minimum wage will actually hurt the middle class. We need to make sure that a sensible, we need to make sure that the middle class's buying power remains at the level at the best possible level, and then give them the opportunity to move up from the middle class to whatever level that they want to work. But that can only be done when we start removing government regulations that destroy job growth in this state or in this nation, and stop people from being the entrepreneurs that they are naturally, and which seeking the American dream, whether they want to start their own business or expand their business to provide more jobs for people. As long as we continue down a path, and unfortunately, you living in the state of Illinois know the amount of job loss that we've had here, even to the states around us, that's the same situation. The overburdensome government has kept us pinned down, and it is hurting the middle class. And
Mike, let me just chime in.
Okay. All right.
Can I just chime in on that? Look, one of the things about it is what we need right now is happy warriors. And this is a fight for the very survival. I grew up as a state trooper's son from Northeast Georgia. And my mom worked with senior adults. And what the caller made reference to is we need a fair tax system. We need a less complicated system in which government gets out of the way and does what it's supposed to do. And I know you and I are not Republicans who believe that government needs to be blown up. What we do understand, though, is there's a constitutional role for government. You had mentioned the REINS Act earlier. I was an original co-sponsor of the REINS Act to make sure that when regulations come in play, there's a test in which Congress has say-so in that. I'm also was a lead sponsor on a bill called Sue and Settle, which helps businesses fight back against government regulations when it's put on top of them without them having input when outside groups sue the government. These are the kind of things that help. The callers on these that are listening, it says moms and dads. When moms and dads get up in the morning and they say all they want to do is they want to take care of their families, they want to send them to school, and they want a government that helps them and doesn't hurt them. And Mike, that's one of the things that I think you're fighting for. That's right. What I'm fighting for up here, and we're going to continue to do that with good folks like you.
You bet. We need to go to Joe now, St. Louis. Joe?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Good.
Okay, so my question is, as a military vet myself, I'm kind of concerned about the VA stuff, obviously, and that one story that our previous caller had was kind of touching and stuff, and stuff like that does happen. But is there any tracking or any plan in place to kind of help the VA also to better vet and prioritize veterans based on disabilities? Because I know some people that are getting more benefits than people that actually deserve them. I know a case of a guy who really has nothing wrong with him, but he has 100% VA, and I think it's wrong. I think that's clogging up the system and causing a problem.
I think with Doug's experience, the Congressman's experience, he would probably be able to answer that as best as I could. What do you?
Yeah,
is there a plan out there?
Well, Mike, it's part of what we're doing right now, and what you're seeing is, and I've listened to some, and I would encourage folks if they're interested in this, is the Veterans Affairs Committee is doing a lot of late night hearings, which is in time for people to watch on C-SPAN. I know a lot of folks don't watch C-SPAN, but it's a great time for them to do so. Hearing these they're a typical Monday or Tuesday nights when we come in. And what they can find out is they hear these same stories. And I heard one of the administrators the other night talking about, these folks who are getting double payments and things. And really what they're saying is the system is set up so that, that it makes it hard just to keep up with what they're having to keep up with, because the systems and the processes are not in place to help them. That's why we passed the veterans bill that we did, which says if you can't get an appointment within 14 days, we'll send you to you'll be able to go to a non-VA facility to get the help and stay within the system so that they're getting the help they need. At the same time, we're making improvements to not only quality of care, but quantity of care. These are the kind of things that have to be addressed. The caller is correct. And then we also have to have this is why I'm not in favor, and most of us are not in favor without structural changes, throwing money at something, because you can't, you got to have audits as well, because there's still a lot of parts of the system that are broken and people getting benefits where other people are not. And these are the kind of things we're working on right now. So that's the reasons why, Mike, we need you, and we need real solutions in Washington.
Thank you. We're going to take about two more questions. Hold on, I'll tell you. Sharon in Benton. Are you with us, Sharon? Sharon? Okay, we'll go to another question then. Remember, to press 0 if you have questions. We've only got about time for one or two more questions. So, Mr. Zahn in Alton.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm concerned about we have a country that's got enough population in it already, and we've got people coming in, and we've got more people. I'm afraid we've got a deal where certain groups are oversupplying labor to drive the price down.
So you're actually wanting to know position on immigration?
Yes.
Okay. Let me tell you this. I believe that major immigration reform must occur, but the first thing that must occur is the securing of the borders. And how much we know, I know how it pulls at people's heartstrings with these children coming across, but I think there's been certain issues that have been moved forward through our administration that has sent a message that run across now. Instead of trying to make sure that our borders are secure and that a legal way is the right way, as many of our parents did, and grandparents and great-grandparents, to come into this country. When I served in the Marine Corps, I served right along the border in Arizona. It was happening then. The sad thing is back then, President Reagan worked with Congress, said that they would have immigration reform. They actually allowed amnesty at the time, and then they unfortunately they made a promise that we would secure the borders. He made passed the law, worked with the law for the reform, and then they didn't secure the borders. And I'm afraid we can head down that way again. I think, Congressman, if you want to answer one, kind of give it a comment on this, that's great, and then we'll kind of wrap things up.
Yeah, I think the bottom line here, Mike, you said enforce the law. There's enough laws on the books, and one of the things in dealing with these children, this is a humanitarian crisis, but it has been caused, frankly, by a law that has been misinterpreted by this administration, that was intended for the use in sex trafficking and the like. Now they're using it to keep all the children who are coming in. We're finding a lot of problems in this process, and they're basically just disappearing. And for the president to ask for $3.7 billion, of which a lot of it included things that don't help the kids except for legal aid and things like that. That's just wrong. We need to make sure that the kids who are coming across understand, and the folks in Central America, it matters how bad it is down there, that coming across the border is not the answer. And we need to start sending the kids in a very humanitarian, very safe way, sending these kids back home. I think the message will get across when they start seeing, you know, that it's not working, and this is not the option that parents can use when kids are being sent across the Mexican countryside and being raped and brutalized. This is not the way to do this, and we cannot continue to condone this here in the States.
Thank you. So, first off, I want to thank Congressman Doug Collins for being with us tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you, people, for taking the call and calling in. Let me tell you that I'm running to try to fight for your concerns on these issues. Like I said early on, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I got 9 grandchildren, and I don't think we're headed down the path that is right now to hand them off a country that they can have as best of opportunity to seek employment, to grow up in a free nation. There's a lot of things that are going on right now that are scaring me, and that's one of the main reasons I'm running. I want to represent you in Washington. I do thank you for joining the call tonight. I will ask for your votes and support. Once again, Congressman, thank you for being on, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you.